Good morning, students. Now we are going to discuss about History Chapter 2 from hunting, gathering to growing food. Students, in our last class we discussed about Geography Chapter 2, globe, latitudes and longitudes. Now we are going to discuss about History Chapter 2. Chapter 2 of History deals with the earliest people who move from place to place in search of food. This chapter discusses many topics in detail, such as how we come to know about these people, how they start farming and herding, etc. Moving on to understand hunter gatherers. Students, we know about the people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago. Today, we describe them as hunter gatherers. Students, early humans were initially hunter gatherers. The name comes from the way in which they got their food. They were basically hunters and gatherers. They hunted animals and gathered fruits, nuts, and roots to eat. They generally lived in caves and rock shelters. Students, can you tell what did hunter-gatherers do to sustain themselves? Yes, they hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, and eggs in order to sustain themselves. Do you know they did not wear anything during summers, but during the winter season they used animal skins, the barks of trees and leaves to keep themselves warm. Nights were generally spent up in trees or in caves and rock shelters. Students, what do you mean by hunter gatherers? Yes, early humans were basically hunter gatherers. Am I right? They moved from one place to another. Students, in the early stages, humans were hunter gatherers and nomads. Can you tell what were the various reasons for hunter gatherers to move from place to place? Yes, hunter gatherers kept on moving from one place to another for the following reasons. At first, staying at one place for a long time would have ended up the availability of plant and animal resources. That means, if they had stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plants and animal resources, isn't it? Therefore, they would have had to go elsewhere in search of food. Second, animals move from place to place either in search of small prey or, in the case of deer and wild cattle, in search of grass and leaves. Isn't it? That is why those who hunted them had to follow their movements. That means animals move from place to place. So, these people had to follow their movements. Next, plants and trees bear fruits in different seasons. So, people may have moved from season to season in search of different kinds of plants. Next, people, plants, and animals need water to survive. Water is found in lakes, streams, and rivers. Students, people living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during the dry seasons. For example, summer and winter. So, hunter gatherers kept on moving from one place to another in search of food, water, and shelter. They hunted animals and gathered fruits, nuts, and roots to eat. They protected their bodies by covering themselves with barks of trees or leaves and skins of animals. They generally lived in caves and rock shelters. When the resources of plant and animal food got exhausted in one area, they moved to another. Moving on to understand how do we know about these people? Students, archaeologists have found some of the things hunter gatherers made and used. Can you tell who are archaeologists? Yes, archaeologists are persons who study the objects of the past. Listen to it. They also explore and dig the earth in order to find out tools, weapons, parts, pans, ornaments, and coins. Hunter gatherers made and used various types of tools, such as tools of stone, wood, and bone. Let us discuss about how were stone tools used in the past. Students, some stone tools were used to cut meat and bone, scrap bark from trees, and hides. For example, animal skins, chop fruit and roots. Some were used as handles of bone or wood. Some were used to make spears and arrows for hunting. Other tools were used to cut wood. Students, how was wood used in the past? Yes, wood was used as firewood. It was also used to make huts and tools. Let us discuss about rock paintings. Many caves have paintings on their walls. Early humans perhaps painted these to express their feelings. In many rocks, the new paintings are painted on top of an older painting. Children, Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh is famous for prehistoric rock paintings. There are over 750 rock shelters here, nearly 500 of which have paintings. In Bhimbetka, we can see nearly 20 layers of paintings, one on top of another. A large number of animals have also been painted, most of them in great detail. The colors used in the paintings are red, green, white, and yellow. Moving on to understand finding out about fire. Let us discuss about humans discover fire. One of the greatest discoveries made by early humans was of fire. It will never be known how it happened. Perhaps two flints were rubbed together accidentally and the sparks fell on some dry leaves lying nearby. Or perhaps lightning struck a tree and went it up in flames. Over a period of time, humans learned the uses of fire. It provided light and kept them warm. Students, do you know early humans kept a fire burning at the entrance of their caves to scare away wild animals? They also found that fire could be used to cook food. May have happened accidentally. A piece of raw meat might have fallen into fire. It would have tasted good, and humans may have started cooking their food after that. Students, can you tell why did earlier people use fire? Yes, they used fire to make light, to cook meat, and to frighten animals. Moving on to understand Stone Age. The period of human history from 5 lakh BCE to 4000 BCE is called the Stone Age because humans used tools made mainly of stones. The Stone Age covers the longest period in human existence on the earth. Students, based on the types of tools used, the Stone Age can be divided into three periods. They are Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age, and Neolithic Age. Paleolithic Age is also known as Old Stone Age. Mesolithic Age is also known as Middle Stone Age. Neolithic Age is also known as New Stone Age. Now, we are going to learn about Paleolithic Age. Students, the Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. This long stretch of time is divided into the lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. This long span of time covers 99% of human history. Students, this was a period of transition between the Paleolithic Age and the Neolithic Age. Students, what do you know about Paleolithic Age? Yes, Paleolithic is also called Old Stone Age. Am I right? It is divided into three substages: What are the stages? Lower, middle, and later Paleolithic age. Crude stone tools were used during this age. Moving on to understand Mesolithic age. Students, the Mesolithic age extends from 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago. Do you know? Stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are called microliths. Microliths were probably stuck on to handles of bone or wood to make tools such as saws and sickles. Students, what do you mean by saw? Saw is a hand tool for cutting wood. Students, sickles means a short handled farming tool with a semicircular blades. At the same time, older varieties of tools continued to be in use. Students, what do you know about Mesolithic age? Yes, Mesolithic is also called Middle Stone Age. Am I right? Yes. Tools of this were smaller and sharper and were called microliths. Rounded tools also continued to be used in this period. Moving on to understand Neolithic age. The next stage from about 10,000 years ago is known as the Neolithic age. The New Stone Age tools were a further improvement on the earlier variety of tools. These tools were sharper and polished with shiny surfaced tools. Do you know, in the New Stone Age, man changed from a food gatherer to a food producer. That means he learned to take care of crops that he showed and also reared animals. Students, what do you mean by Neolithic age? Yes, Neolithic is also called New Stone Age. Am I right? The tools of this age were much sharper and polished to sparkle. Thank you.